Taking off runway 22 to the south. On the right side you can already see a little bit of Manhattan. We're first going to swing a little bit around Brooklyn.
I get to shoot my first full ILS in the soup
Nice.
flying into Toronto. Or not Toronto, Griffiths.
I see that.
Alright, we're up in the air. But heading away.
Apparently the weather's really good. I just turned on my weather radar and apparently it's all red. I'm not getting thrown around though, so maybe it's above me. Yeah, it's right above me. Huh.
Alright,
Please stop, Jackson. Don't rile her up.
Alright,
Sorry
so
about that.
no
I
worries.
thought I have a mic muted. Parenting. Sorry.
Alright, so we are now flying over Brooklyn. Technically that's
Oh,
all
no.
Queens. Not quite Brooklyn yet. LaGuardia is
It's
fine. Like it depends on like what airline, but like usually I fly out LaGuardia with JetBlue, and they have like their own little terminal there, and like it's pretty okay. I have to like navigate the stupid construction zones there. All right.
This should be a missed approach. I'm way too high. I didn't catch the glide slope and I didn't notice.
The in-game ATC often tells me to do a go-around, even though I'm perfectly aligned, coming in perfectly with speed, about to touch down, and it's like, go-around. It's like, how about no? And then just land and, like, ignore the ATC. Alright, so we are on track towards Prospect Park right now. On the right-hand side, that is... what's it called again? Long Island City. It's not Long Island, it's Long Island City. It's basically on the border of Brooklyn and Queens. Fun fact, that's actually where I got married. In like an old industrial building owned by a German lady. And we are now slowly making our way over to Brooklyn from Queens. On the right side here, this is Williamsburg, right next to the East River. And then here, this is Bushwick, another neighborhood. We're basically flying between Williamsburg and Bushwick here. And this over here, this is like downtown area of Brooklyn. Lots of shopping areas to explore. Zooming in the map a little bit more. And should cross over the Barclays Center as well. Not mistaken. Alright, so I'm going to do a right turn here. So this park here, it's Prospect Park. That's one of the, or the biggest park in Brooklyn. Has some baseball pitches in there and also a zoo. And 9 frames. It's too many players here. It's killing it. Time to go to bed. Yeah, I bet it's like after midnight, almost 1. Have a good night, guys, and thanks for joining, and thanks for the follows. Really appreciate it. Here it's the Grand Armory Plaza. It has a little arc with horses on top of it, which are actually inspired by the horses that are on the Brandenburg Gate. And right over here, slow down a little bit, is the Barclays Center. It's a sports arena and also the home for the Brooklyn Knicks basketball team, and the location for a lot of basketball games and sport events. And I'm actually gonna pause here.
Ahead.
Yep, TFR ahead, I know. Like, almost everywhere in New York. So yeah, this is the Barclays Center, and there's Alice in the Aerobat. And if we zoom down, increase the speed a little bit here. There we go. Like here, this building here, like with the Best Buy, like this is a little mall of sorts with a lot of shops, but they have like this massive big Best Buy logo up here. And like if you spot that from the air, like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I know where I am. Like, this is Best Buy. We have a Barclays Center here, with the whole texture on it. This down here is the subway station, and it actually has grass on top of the roof. So this is not like a mistake or something with the textures. This is actually how it looks like in real life. Then over here you have a Target, which you can also recognize with like the red signs. Some more shops here, like a Starbucks down here. So like you can really recognize those things, right? Like it's pretty amazing. Like if you're high up, you know, the higher up you are, like, you know, between 1,000 and 2,000 feet, like you can easily make out those things and like do VFR flying pretty easily by recognizing those landmarks. Then over here, further up, this is an area where you have a bunch of shops, where we usually go for shopping. This is like a little hardware store down here. This is a little wine shop, a grocery store, like a coffee place up here. This is like an outdoor, in the summer they open this up. It's like a Mexican place. They have another one that's over here, and like even here, you see, this is amazing. Like this mural here, even though it's fairly pixelated, but let me actually pull that up on maps so we can do like a little comparison. Like the photogrammetry that they do here in the game is really, really good. So let me load in Fulton Street. Satellite imagery. Where are we? Great provisions. Street view. Right spawner? Yeah, there we are. Alright, so this is how it looks in Google Maps, right? So this is the mural here, Comandante, and this is this Habanero Cafe, right? And if we switch back into the game, this is pretty much what we see here, right? We have this, even though it's pixelated, but you can recognize it. It has like, you know, the person and like the sun rays around it. And then here you see the Habanero Cafe again. Like you can see it's like it's a light green, blue. It's pretty dope. Like I can't complain like what they did here. Obviously you have sometimes trees in the middle of a street, like here, which don't really make sense, but it's pretty accurate. Like I'm really happy with what they did here. All right, bring the camera back. Lag. Where are we? There we go. And resume. Alright, so next up, when we swing over a little bit here to the left, we have the Brooklyn and the Manhattan Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge is, I think, relatively famous and well known. That's the one here on the left, going over to City Hall. And then here, this is the Manhattan Bridge. And one cool thing that which shows how accurate the simulation is, there's one very popular photo spot, and you see that on Instagram everywhere. So this area down here is called Dumbo. That's a little neighborhood. And I'm going to pause it here again to like jump into the drone cam.
TFR ahead.
Yeah, I still know that there's a TFR. Why is my drone camera not working? Did I bug out the game again?
What are you trying to do?
There we go. Get into my drone cam. Was in a weird mode. So yeah, as I said, this is on the left. This is Brooklyn Bridge. And it's well modeled. The color is slightly different. It's a bit more brown, reddish, instead of this white. But other than that, it's pretty great. Like this up here, this is where the pedestrians walk. Like if you ever cross the Brooklyn Bridge, like you would walk here between those ropes. And then walk always around those pillars. So this is pretty well modeled, right? And then you have the cars on either side. This is a bit wrong though, because one side is in one direction and the other side is in the other direction. So the cars here are driving a little bit strangely. You also have the flag on top. A bit wrong though, because usually the stars are on the flagpole and not the other way around. But you know. We can look over that. So, and then on the other side, we have the Manhattan Bridge. It's a steel bridge in this like turquoise, rusty copper tone, and also pretty well modeled, even with like here the climb guards for people to not climb up the bridge. So again, very well modeled. Then down here we have Jane's Carousel. It's a super old vintage carousel. We can't see it unfortunately because it is in fact in a glass building to protect it from weather. And we have all those old industrial buildings down here. Great location for photo shoots. We have some water masks here to show the big rocks on the coastline. They have this park which was recently built like 2-3 years ago or so. They rebuilt this whole area here, which was a little bit destroyed from the floods. And yeah, it's Dumbo. It's a nice little town. They do like concerts in between the bridges here. But what I wanted to show is there is I think it's on this street. Nope, it's one more over. Oh, it's here. So if you are in this street, a lot of people go in here. No, not this one. Where is it? To find it. Oh, it wasn't this one. Yeah. So in this street, a lot of people come in here to take pictures. In real life, there are less trees here, but if I move a little bit forward, you see that people, when they take pictures here, you see it on Instagram, you see the Empire State Building, and it's right in the center of the bridge pillar here, and you can see it right through here. Like, this alignment shows how accurate the modeling of the world is. Like you can search on Instagram, like Dumbo, Brooklyn, Instagram, whatever. Like you will find tons of pictures, and you see like with the sunset or whatever, you see people posting pictures of the Manhattan Bridge through the pillar over to the Manhattan to the Empire State Building. And if we go to like a more like evening sunset style here, like when the lights come on, doesn't give it credit. Like you have to probably play with the months a little bit to like have the sun position a little bit different. But it's pretty impressive how accurate those alignments are in the sim, right? Like you can find real life pictures where you have the exact alignment. They're usually a little bit further back. Oh, did my sim just crash?
Just give it a second.
Might have crashed.
Give it another second. Give it another second.
Oh wait. I still hear sound, so. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Grazie. My Italian isn't that good. Buenos noches, or is that Spanish?
That's Spanish.
Yeah. Kalinichta, that's Greek. I can't recall the Italian one right now. Nope, it's frozen. It's not coming. Well, I guess with this icon. Oh no, there we are. Oh,
TFR ahead.
all players just disappeared. Okay. Still frozen? No. We have movement. Yep, we have movement again. Phew. Alright. Back into the plane. Pause and... Buena notte, we say. Buena notte. Buena notte. Ciao. Ciao. Yeah, so then if you come over here, usually like when you come over Brooklyn Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge comes into City Hall, where our mayor sits. And it's a nice walk or bike ride. Like, I've been over the Brooklyn Bridge several times, and you come out here, cross over, and then right down here you have City Hall. Also a subway stop.
500.
Along with parks. And then obviously here on the left, the new World Trade Center, One World Trade Center. And I'm gonna pause here again for a second. We have the New World Trade Center, obviously, but down here, and this is not very well modeled. I don't know from when the picture is. This looks still pretty much under construction. This is the so-called Oculus. It's like a shopping mall, and it looks sort of like, if you look at real pictures, it looks sort of like a rib cage, like bone structure, but it's supposed to be like a dove in flight with like the wings flapping, like sort of like a stop motion animation of sorts. But it's a nice building and looks nice inside, very sterile and modern. And then over here you have those two fountains in honor of the victims of 9/11. These are the locations of the old two towers where they were standing. And they have nameplates around the fountains with all the names of the people that died at 9/11. So it's a beautiful place, but it also has a tragic history connected to it. But it's definitely a place where you should stop by if you are in New York. It's right at the feet of the new One World Trade Center where Alice is just circling around. And not far from here, you have Wall Street, which is somewhere over here. Here's St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan. And then Wall Street is, I think, somewhere through here. Yeah, Wall Street is down here. This is where the New York Stock Exchange is.
I haven't really done this yet. This is way too much fun.
To fly with the acrobat plane like between the buildings, it's crazy. Then down here is Battery Park, where you have like an old fort, poorly modeled here. That's where you can buy your tickets for the ferry to go over to the Statue of Liberty, which we see back over there. And a lot of people get ripped off here, so only go in there, buy a ticket at the official place. There are plenty of people around the area that try to sell you tickets for like 2 or 3 times the price. So if you're ever in New York, don't listen to those people. Go in there, get your ticket officially. Like, it's a shame that those people try to rip you off. Then over here is where the Staten Island ferries take off. Over to Staten Island. Those ferries are actually free to use over to Staten Island, and they drive past the Statue of Liberty as well. So if you just want to get some closer up pictures of the Statue of Liberty, use the Staten Island ferries and don't spend money at all. But if you want to get onto Liberty Island, you have to take certainly the proper ferries. Then here we have some heliports. So I guess once we have helicopters in the game, this is a place where a lot of helicopters are landing and taking off. We have a lot of helicopter taxis actually that can take you, if you have the money, from here over to JFK. If you're in a rush and you want to beat traffic and you have $500 to spare, jump into a helicopter and like within 10 minutes you're at JFK. I've actually done a helicopter tour from here around Manhattan. Was pretty dope. Like, they're taking basically off here straight over the water, very low flight, and then they pull up. It's like a roller coaster, and then flying here over Governor's Island, and then we were making our way up to up the rivers. Yeah, then we have. I think we can now, for now, go back into the plane and fly a little bit more uptown. This down here, I think there's Washington Square Park. A nice little park. Oh, no, that's City Hall. Washington Square Park was a little bit further up. A lot of people are sitting and playing dominoes and stuff like that. And let's go back into the plane and unpause, and then we go up along the Hudson. God, the frames are killing me.
TFR ahead.
So now we are coming down Lower Manhattan. Greenwich Village is here on the right. And one building over here. God, it's so hard with the frames. I'm really sorry for the frames. It's just like an overloaded area here. And I already pre-cached this whole area, usually. But that doesn't seem to work that well. So over here, this building is the old Port Authority building, and is now actually the building where the Google offices are located. That's actually my workplace, where I used to go before the coronavirus hit. And that's down here is Chelsea Market, also a very prominent location where a lot of people go. And there is another, I think there's an old aircraft carrier somewhere along the coastline here as well, but it's not modeled. Oh, I'm stalling. And then here, a little bit to the right, Come on. Here is Madison Square Garden and the United States Post Office. Also a relatively popular location to go to. And then here's like this H&M logo that a lot of people will also recognize from like movies and stuff like that. That's where Times Square is. Am I high enough? I hope so. Yeah, down here you have Times Square. And there's a Chrysler building, and we just flew past the Empire State Building here on the right.
Inside TFR.
And then we are coming straight up to Central Park.
Found the Flatiron
we
building.
say Greenwich. Greenwich. We don't say Greenwich. At least I don't. What'd you say, Alice?
Found the Flatiron building.
Yep, that's also there. So, and here, Central Park. It has the bigger landmarks. It certainly has the lakes in there. We have the Metropolitan Museum of Art up here. And on the right is Upper East Side, Upper West Side over here. And then we come up to Harlem over there.
I just realized my cargo never got loaded in my plane. So,
oh no! All for nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's gonna cost me a lot of money.
And then we're gonna swing around to the right here. And coming back into LaGuardia. That was a little tour over New York. Let's see if I can land with like 10 frames per second. Thanks for the follow, Wichele, if I say that correctly. Wichele. Glad you enjoyed the tour. Happy to do that again sometime, hopefully with better frames. Or do a tour of Germany, where I grew up. It is now time, slowly getting time here for dinner.
What's for dinner?
We're making the doner that we prepared yesterday. I didn't end up making the bread yesterday, I made it today.
Warning, airport not in current route.
I did a
nice.
I did a slow cooker sausage this morning.
Nice. We did some German bratwurst instead yesterday on the grill.
So what's the difference between German bratwurst and like beer brats? Johnsonville.
Well, German bratwurst, they're usually not boiled in beer. That's like an American thing. And it's just
Oh,
like
no,
really hard to like get proper bratwurst here. Like not a lot of butchers don't have like the good sausages. Like you usually have like the very fine. It's called brat. It's like a emulsified ground meat basically with the spices.
Is that a proper German brat?
Yeah.
Emulsified pork
yeah,
sausage?
Yeah, I mean you also get like ones with like a rough cut, or like with like more ground beef or ground meat structure.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem here with most of the sausages that I had or buy at the butcher, they always need to be boiled first, right? Because otherwise they will burst, or not cooked through and stuff like that. And that's not the case for the German bratwurst. I don't know if they have different casings or whatever, but I only had.
Have you ever
found, like,
had Have you ever had deer sausage?
beer sausage or deer?
No. Deer. D-E-R.
No.
It's a really popular thing here in South Louisiana, I guess. Venison, pretty much.
Okay.
And it's a really lean meat, so it's usually mixed 60-40 or 50-50 with pork.
Right.
And the way we do it is we make a rice and gravy. So you'll start the pan with some oil, and then I'm sorry if I'm interrupting your stream. By the way,
No,
you
it's
can tell me
okay.
to shut up.
It's fine.
We will start the sausage with a little bit of oil, and then you basically let it burn and let it stick like to the pan, and then you deglaze it with fill it up with water about a quarter of the way, covering the sausage. Scrape it all off the pan, and then let it boil down and stick again, and do that until oh, and also you add better than bouillon. It's a beef-based concentrated,
Mm-hmm.
so it darkens and thickens up the gravy. And so you just keep letting it stick and burn down, and flipping the sausage, and it makes a really dark gravy. And you put it over rice with some onions, and it's delicious.
Nice. Sounds good.
Endeavor, some of the best German sausage in the U.S. would be either like Wisconsin, Michigan,
Yeah.
or central or northern Texas, central Texas, Childress area. There's a lot of historically there's a lot of German immigrants there.
Yep. I
And
know my
so-
my wife. She's from Texas. We've
Yeah.
been there some German places, but you have like a lot of German restaurants here as well. And like they're good. Their schnitzels are better. But like for like if you want to have like a bratwurst at home, like there's one butcher here in Brooklyn. They have a really good one. But yeah, today we're
what is
gonna
it?
do the döner.
What is a schnitzel?
A schnitzel is like a veal cut. It's usually like hammered down flat,
It's like
and
pan
then
veal.
it's like breaded with like panko, and then shallow fried basically.
Hmm.
And then you just squeeze over some lemon juice, and that's it. Delicious.
It's very similar to veal piccata.
Yep. And there's like the pork and the veal variation, and like one is called Wiener Schnitzel, like Vienna Schnitzel, and then the other one is like Schnitzel as in Vienna, sort of. Like it's different phrases, and like one is with veal, the other one is with pork. All right, but anyway, I check on my wife and get the dinner ready. Thank you all for watching, and hope you enjoyed the tour over New York. And we'll be back for more tomorrow. I think I will have another stream. I will do some bush flying, and on Thursday I will try to start the first leg of my world tour, flying around the world.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Sounds
Yep.
awesome.
Like I try to do it with a small plane that has just enough range to get like over the Atlantic.